After posting a video where I drove my tires to the cord, got a flat, and ended up in a side of the road shop 3 hours from home that damaged my vehicle, there were a lot of unique opinions. Let's dive in. You should definitely leave a review representing this experience. So far, it looks like you have not left one. This is why I don't leave f***ing reviews on places, because people, anytime I want to do anything, people find it. Imagine if I had left a review. Fear the Clown would have gone on, oh, let's see if Go Herping left a review. Oh, he did. They click my account. Boom. Now they get a full history of every place I've reviewed. You would just get a full map of, oh, here's where he goes on Fridays. Here's where he went last week. People are going to find the review and then they're going to freaking e-stalk me. I decided to do the opposite of what I did. If you watched the first Turo series, the car got crashed and it was towed by a more predatory? What did I say? Predatory? It was towed by a shop that just the police force uses. I thought that was a genuinely really bad shop. However, I didn't want people to go review bomb or whatever, and so I ended up blurring the shop's name. And then at one point, I had a shot of the building across the street. People found that Google Maps listing. They then looked across the street to identify the tow yard, and then they review bombed the tow yard. It's like the Streisand effect. Trying to hide something just makes people want to find it. So I decided to not hide Harold's shop. And what do you know? Nobody really tried to find it online because it was just publicly Harold's used tires in the video. This one, I think this is my favorite comment like of the year. Not the initial comment, but the response. The initial comment is, why does bro have such good reviews? Response. I'm gonna say the comment and no one's gonna think it's funny. Okay. Why does bro have such good reviews? Most of the customers are probably happy with their service. Like once per video, there's a comment that just absolutely kills me because it is the absolute just perfect joke in the world. Well, now that I started crying because I found that so funny, I wish I could get a live reaction of you watching these videos. I feel like nobody laughed. Best comment possibly in the world. I think that's my favorite YouTube comment that's ever been posted. You always think you're a victim. You're a sick individual. Damn. If I saw this comment without context of the video, I would think I'm watching like an Epstein documentary or something. What? I feel bad for the friend you're dragging around. The friend chose to be there. Didn't he say that's his YouTube manager? I was referencing my YouTube manager a lot, who's just some random employee in California. But the idea, A, of me dragging my YouTube manager to Florida, like I bring this guy that works for YouTube and I'm like, can you come with me to Florida? And then he gets stuck in South Carolina with me. And also the idea of Ethan being my YouTube manager is also really funny because I think he'd actually probably be good at it. Not only does Ethan consume a lot of YouTube, but he does essentially produce content at this point. I mean, how much did he help me produce? A year's worth of content. So it also, I think, made me think of Matan Evan with his manager Viral Flooring, the way Viral Flooring like beats the shit out of him. I don't feel like explaining that, but I guess if you watch Matan, my Viral Flooring is Ethan. Okay, I rewatched the video and now I understand why there was confusion because I used footage of Ethan while I referenced my YouTube manager. This was the original clip. The plan was follow my YouTube manager's advice. The fact you left that shop with all that damage, despite having literal video footage proving he did it, is absolutely diabolical. Harold looked at cold hard video evidence, told you to go buy a can of spray paint, took a leak mid-argument, and still finessed you out of $1,600. I feel like nobody would have believed this if we didn't record it. He really defeated high definition proof with nothing but pure, unwashed hand stubbornness. You honestly can't even win against that level of not caring, at least not in the moment. I really like this person's writing. I feel like I could totally, if they wrote a script for me, I could narrate it like perfectly. I got to get them on the Herp team. We need some new writers. I don't have any writers. It's just me right now. That's why the comments on this video I think are so funny. That's why I don't go to shops. That's so... Speaking of like the food poisoning, that's like if you got food poisoning once and you're like, that's why I don't eat food anymore. So what do? You just starve? You just photosynthesize? Where does this guy go? Does he have his own tire changing machine? I'll be your manager. I'll advise you to make better financial decisions, which probably precludes me from the role of being your manager. Sad, because it feels like it could be the closest thing to an infinite well. So I guess he's saying I have potential, but I'm not tapping into it. He waited until after his YouTube manager dumped him to try and change. I've had toxic relationships like that. These comments are really funny to me. There's such bangers on this video. And by the way, when I'm shooting these videos, what am I thinking behind the camera? I'm like, I can't wait to see what the comments have to say about this because it's going to be so funny. And they delivered. But yeah, I did quite literally push back on everything my manager said until it was too late. And then I was like, no, take me back, YouTube manager. I'll change. In square brackets, peen. I really appreciate when people appreciate my subtitles. I hate AI auto-generated subtitles because they're never accurate. Like on YouTube shorts and full YouTube videos, what's even the point? If you've ever seen a burned in caption on my video, so not the YouTube CC button, but actually on the video, it was handwritten by me. I hand wrote every word of every caption on the videos. There are sometimes some typos, but it lets it be fully accurate. Also, one really interesting thing that I've taken away from that is it took so long to write the captions like on all of the vlogs and the Leaf videos and the psychic getting a life videos because I had to write out every word. And I was like, man, I should really automate this. But what I realized is when I'm forced to write every word that's said in a video, it makes me reconsider, do I even need this line in this video? And so what I started doing is as I write out these words, I'm like, what even is this? Like, wait, let me just cut the sentence out. And so it helped make my videos a lot more concise and engaging, I think, to where there would be a 30-minute video, but I end up being like, I don't even feel like typing out all these captions. That makes me realize I don't even need 10 minutes of this video. And I cut it down to 20 minutes, and suddenly it's a more watchable experience. So just a fun little YouTube fact. If you ever feel like your videos are drawn out, just make yourself type out the whole thing. And then you'll truly realize what's necessary. You basically ate at a shack on the side of the road and are upset about food poisoning. I have to push back on this because side of the road shacks have some of the best grub. I went to this one Mexican place like years ago, like within the last 5 years, but I don't remember what year it was. I was on some trip somewhere with someone. All I can remember is there was this little ass building. It was like, I can almost remember it. It was like kind of in a basement on a city street. You walk down, super musty, old, super cheap as well. Best Mexican food in the world. The one exception to this is side of the road Asian places, a little more sketch. I'll probably never find that Mexican place again. But luckily I don't need it because on the menu today, cranberry Dijon pork fillet with some of the best flavors I've ever cooked with. That's right, cooked myself at home. All thanks to HelloFresh. The box delivered to my doorstep with high quality ingredients for the best food. And it just got even easier with low lift meals for when I'm not in the mood to be slaving away over the stove, aka all the time. Their quick and easy menu is customizable and features recipes from all over the world. These individually packed ingredients have everything needed for chef crafted recipes of whatever you're in the mood for. What I sadly can't show on camera is just how good the flavors are. I don't know if I can take credit since I'm just the guy that followed some simple instructions included in the box, but it's thanks to me. Their huge menu means I look forward to unique, fresh dishes literally whenever I want. Without HelloFresh, I make these individual, just sad, lonely foods instead of well-rounded meals, so I can't recommend them enough. If you click my link below or scan the QR code on screen, you get 10 free meals plus a free Caraway food storage set with your third box, available for a limited time only. My coupon code is in the description as well. Thank you HelloFresh for sponsoring and allowing us to enjoy new recipes every week. You better dispute that charge with your credit card company. So I decided to wait to do this reaction video until it is revealed that I sold the plaid, which means I can now give more details. I kind of already knew most likely I was going to sell it when we were on this trip. And so then I was like, well, what am I going to, like, am I going to wait to sell it to deal with the rim issue? But I did dispute it with my credit card company. They rejected the dispute. Reason being, you got the service you paid for. It's worth doing a small claims for another video. Now, this is a different thing. I don't feel like going through the court system, but as a viewer of my own channel, that sounds weird. but I try to make things from the perspective of watching my own videos. I would also like to see me go to small claims and do it, but that means I have to actually do it and I don't feel like it. So someone else also said to sue for like emotional damage or something. Like, I feel like you can sue for emotional damage if you like had a botched surgery and now you like can't walk anymore and you cry every time you think about going on a walk with your dog. Harold hated that Tesla, took all his anger out on those rims, and happily charged you full price with no shame. I've definitely been skeptical or wary bringing my cars to shops. Ultimately, I just never have to get work on the Tesla, and if I do, I bring it to Tesla. The one reason I don't think Harold hated the Tesla was because he didn't seem to know what a Tesla was. I don't think he knew what he was looking at. He definitely did charge me full price for some shitty ass work though. Well, he gave me $100 off. But he's pissing in front of y'all. Nah, not twin. Yeah, what a power move. I mean, like the first guy that whips out his dick and starts pissing, that's a power move. The second guy that whips out his dick, that's just gay. Like there was really nothing I could do in response to even try and one up. He won. Once he was pissing, it was all over. Harold rang King Harold. We're simply his measly peasants. We're all living in Harold's world. If Harold wasn't comfortable taking the wheels off without damaging the rims, he should have called Alex to let him know. I do think that's pretty reasonable. At what step did he start struggling? Because he didn't understand the key card for the vehicle. He didn't understand the door handles. He didn't understand how to put it into drive. And so his solution to that was, oh, let's just not move the car. Let's just jack it up where it is in the parking lot, take off the wheels, bring the wheels into the shop. Once he started taking them off and he starts like having trouble, what was his thought process? Was he like, huh, this is kind of hard. I think I'm going to damage these. Or was he just like listening to music, talking to his friends in the shop, just going to town, not even realizing the damage? Once the damage was there, was he like, uh-oh? Or did he just not even... We almost went over before he started replacing the tires because we were at the motel lobby. We called, we were like, should we come over? He said, no, I'll call you when I'm done. So in hindsight, even though he said no, maybe we should have gone to the shop anyway and we could have seen him do it. Because then we could have actually watched and been like, is he damaging the shit out of our rims? And then we could have in person been like, hey, what are you doing? Like when he's damaging one, how would that have been different? I'd love to see that parallel universe where we see him start to scratch a rim, we stop him, where does it go from there? Does he just say, oh, well, I can't do it? And then we have a tireless car? I don't know. Christian to Christian, I can personally say that damage was not there. King Ethan with the beggar mic drop.
And Christian to Christian, I can personally say that damage was not there.
When he said that in the moment, I didn't really think anything of it. But then watching back the footage, I was like, that's a really funny line. Like, that's a good line. And it was actually the favorite quote from the whole series so far. The number of times people have quoted Christian to Christian is really up there. I think my dad actually quoted it as well. And his favorite part of the video was also Ethan saying Christian to Christian. Which, by the way, a lot of people ask, what do your parents think of these videos? Like, are they like stressed out for you? Are they concerned? My dad thinks they're really funny. So that's... maybe I get that humor side from him because I also think they're really funny. And my mom stopped watching the videos because the hate comments were making her too sad. So stop being mean because now my mom can't watch the videos. Every vlog on this channel is like hearing a today I fucked up story, but it's actually real. Gold as always. That's a subreddit where you share stories of what happened. I've just never heard this before, but it's actually a really funny comparison. I have to agree with that to an extent because the sub, it's oftentimes just like minor inconveniences. Yeah, so the top post this week is, today I effed up by taking 3 laxatives at once because I was desperate. TLDR, I was constipated, took 3 laxatives and they shit themselves. I mean, that's like, I'd say that shitting yourself is a mild inconvenience, and that's the top post this week. So I feel like that's how the channel is as well. The problems I run into are never that big. Like even the squatter, it's not that big. It's minor inconvenience. There's this lady that won't get out of my house. But it's not like there's a serial killer rampage. It's just mild things. So yeah, there's like 2 basic maintenance things on a Tesla and he didn't do it. Yeah, I bought my car to be freaking maintenance free. Now I have to buy tires for it all of a sudden. They don't last the duration of the vehicle. What's the other maintenance thing? Wiper fluid, I guess. I do go through a lot of wiper fluid. Christian to Christian, I can tell you that damage was not there. Speaking of quotes, there's another quote, but it's actually a good quote. People quite liked the quote. Man, you have the patience of a saint and balls. Hey, yo. My socially awkward ass would have just paid and cried on the way home. I would have done that a couple years ago. I learned so much from having roommates. I feel like I'm always referencing having roommates, but man, you learn a lot from living with a bunch of random people. And one of those things was learning to lean in to awkwardness and discomfort. When there's a dispute in your household, not even like there's a dispute with a friend, There's a dispute with someone online, but when you have a dispute with someone where you live within the same walls, there is no fleeing from that. It's like you could go into your room and close the door and cry, but most likely you're just gonna have to face, feet from each other within the same confines of this intimate household setting. You gotta deal with some awkward situations, some uncomfortable situations. And so like same with Uber too. When there's a dispute with your Uber passenger, you're driving down the road, you're in the same car. And so I feel like that did help give me some skills to at least, even though I failed to get much money out of them, it gave me the skill to not just be like, oh, I'm so upset, and then leave. Instead, we spent however long, 45 minutes arguing with them. And so leaving, even though I was disappointed with the outcome, I wasn't disappointed in the fact that Ethan and I stuck around. We went until we were like, okay, there's nothing we're gonna say that convinces him otherwise. It's just words we're just not gonna get through to him, but what's the alternative? No way he just peed with the door open. I don't even mind the door was open. I would have just liked a little bit of a heads up. Like, hold on, guys, I gotta go pee-pee. And we're like, okay, we'll wait. And then he can go pee-pee. Harold is just, he's too stoic. Nothing moves Harold. Dang, this video is amazing at getting me vicariously pissed at someone. It's so interesting how YouTube does that. Like, I get way more bothered when I'm watching someone and then something happens to them. It like actually makes me frustrated. But if it happens to me, it's like whatever. Even watching my own videos back, like when I'm editing my videos, I'm not editing myself in my head. I'm just editing. I'm like this guy, Go Herping's editor, but I'm like, oh shit, that's me. Around Harold's, never relax. Harold did become a slur. The word Harold, kind of like Karen, I guess. Many people have now started describing people as Harolds to me. I was interacting with this Harold earlier. Which is kind of a very funny niche inside joke. I wonder if that's how the Karen one started. Like, it was probably just a niche inside joke between someone, and then the word Karen spread. So with enough effort, Harold could be the next Karen. The problem is most people are using the word Harold in a racist connotations. So maybe we shouldn't spread the word Harold. Male Harold, an artistic drawing of your gouged rims to hang up in his home. Harold was talking about how good of a person he is and how one of his customers painted or drew his shop and mailed it to him and he hung it up in his home. So yeah, I could do a follow-up. I draw it's like me just crying next to some gouged up rims. And knowing Harold's personality now, he'd probably be like, wow, someone made art for me. And he'd just hang it up and be like, look at what that little dude made for me. If he didn't want to pay for repairs, he could just not damage the rims. Well, guess what? He didn't want to pay for repairs and he did damage the rims. Harold won. Stop participating in the heinous industry of exploiting reptiles for financial gain. Well, I did stop, not because of my ethics, but it's because it wasn't working. I feel like I'm on the front lines of arguing that all reptile keeping is the exploitation of animals, so I agree with you there. What I disagree on is they said karma's a bitch. Turns out people think karma's real. That's what I learned through my YouTube career, if you can call it that, is people think karma's an actual thing in reality. You might want to get your underbody checked. To jack up a Tesla, you're supposed to use rubber pucks that go on the jacks. The thing is, I jack up my Teslas a lot, I jack off my Teslas a lot, and I don't use the pucks because I don't have a low profile jack, so I would just jack it regularly, which is apparently bad, but nothing's happened yet with my 3. The battery hasn't exploded. So what if you found old Tesla tire rims and took your newer ones off to resell? So this is a thing on Turo. It's a known scam where someone will rent your nice car on Turo and then swap out the parts secretly. Rims are one, but more often it's stuff within your engine bay, stuff that you wouldn't notice till later. Maybe you have a nice expensive OEM part and they replace it with a cheap aftermarket part that's gonna break and you would never know. And I was like, oh my God, that's actually kind of scary. It turns out your car was pulled into a shop, stripped down, they replaced parts, and then they return it to you because it was only $40 a day to rent a Corolla or whatever. And then they sell the stuff on eBay, Craigslist. But anyway, Harold, I'm sure he did not have specifically the Gen 2 Model S Tempest rims in gunmetal gray. It's a very specific niche set of wheels. So did this happen to me? No, but it could happen in other contexts. For example, if you rent your cars on Turo, there's a small chance you look in your engine bay and you're like, what is this Chinese part that's replaced my OEM BMW part? Your lack of assertiveness to this blatant disrespect is making me livid. I guess people wanted to see me like transform into like the Hulk and beat the shit out of him. What was I supposed to do? Start yelling? Then it's just me yelling at him. What's then? How do I become more assertive in that situation? I pull a gun on him. I threaten his life. I really had no leverage in the situation. I could have raised my voice. I could have started saying bad words. Eventually, I'm just going to be in harassment territory, and then I can get trespassed. If I go more extreme than that, then we're entering the assault realm, and I'm going to get arrested for trying to attack this dude. In many countries, bald tires are illegal. There were multiple people that, oh, this guy actually, look, he has like a UK, he has a London hat on, and London sunglasses and shirt. Wow, he's Londoned to the max. You have a guardian angel for sure. I don't feel like reading the rest of this one. I just wanted to mention this one because throwback to my boy Lorenzo, the psychic, because he said, I have strong ancestral protection. And I think about that often. I may not believe in psychics or Harold or spirits. I just said Harold. Or Lorenzo. Man, what weird characters we've had on this channel. Harold and Lorenzo. We should get them in a video together. But just for fun, I do think about my ancestral protection. Because maybe it's true. Maybe I'm wrong and everything he said is true. And I really do have ancestral protection. Should have towed it to Tesla. If you're ever in a situation, never bring your car to Tesla. They're just going to make you wait 6 weeks. They will not care if you just pull up out of the blue. They're going to sit your ass in like, you start car camping. Put that car in Tesla camp mode. We know you have Tesla camp mode. We freaking made it. Camping your car. We'll get to you in 2 months. Good lesson to take photos of my car before dropping it off at the shop. True, but we did, and it didn't help. I have Harold fatigue. Stop, don't, you can use Harold as an adjective. Okay, it's whatever. Harold's a slur now. Okay, we have Harold fatigue. All right, moving on. You better dispute those charges. This week, my leopard gecko had follicular stasis. My husband forgot to put our car payment on our new debit card, and so our car payment was 3 days late. They said we also forgot to send them our new insurance, so $7,000 was due to get our car back. We had to let it go. We had the money to pay the payment, but not the $7,000. Wait, so this, what? Talk about a butterfly effect. Their leopard gecko's follicular stasis resulted in them getting their car repossessed? Their car payment was 3 days late. Okay, one time I had this happen with the blue Tesla. It turns out my auto pay wasn't set up, and I thought it was. So my payment was actually 4 days late, but they were like, yeah, that's whatever. You have like a 10-day grace period to pay. I was like, what? Like every month? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, so my due date is the 1st, but I don't got to pay till the 10th every month? And they're like, yeah. So I was like, so my due date's actually the 10th. And they're like, yeah. I'm confused how they lost their car that fast. They said that they forgot to send them their new insurance. So $7,000 was due to get our car back. But how did they take the car that fast? How fast do car repossessions happen? 60 to 90 days after a missed payment. Yeah, typical timeline. 1 to 15 days, grace period. Expect a friendly reminder. 30 days, the account is reported as delinquent. 60 to 90 days, they declare default and hire a repo agent. Okay, so if insurance lapses or proof is not sent, lenders will either repossess the vehicle immediately to protect their asset or add collateral protection insurance to the account. CPI is notoriously expensive, backdated, and added directly to the total balance due. Okay, so the issue actually wasn't the missed car payment. The issue was they forgot to update their insurance, which initiated an immediate repossession and a $7,000 CPI charge. Hey, it's Hasan Piker again. Man, I so badly wish this was the real Hasan. If the real Hasan Piker would watched my videos and left random hate comments, that would like absolutely make my month. But anyway, fake Hasan said, karma for how you handled that Turo renter and refused to give him a refund after ruining his life. I ruined the Turo renter's life because the trunk actuator was initiating a false alarm due to a wet sensor. And also, this person also thinks karma is real, apparently. The karma train continues. I remember when I first subscribed to you, you were dealing with animals, and one time you went out to pick up an animal, and you lied to the people who were waiting for you. You said you were close by, and you lied to them for hours. I hated you for that. A lot. I don't wish harm or negativity on others, but I'm claiming this particular saga. Revenge. Damn, I totally forgot about this. That's so interesting that I did something and it upset someone else on the internet so much that they remembered it for years and I forgot. But yes, what we used to do was when we'd pick up animals on Craigslist, we would go to a new city or a new state, and we'd buy every animal on Craigslist that we could. And so getting all this onto a schedule was impossible. We'd try to say, okay, 1:30 p.m. here, 2 p.m. here, 2:30 p.m. here. And unsurprisingly, when you're dealing with Craigslist people don't show up, people are late, people start negotiating in person, everything takes so long. And so if we had a 3 p.m. meetup and we knew we weren't going to be there till 5 p.m., we'd say, hey, sorry, we're going to be 30 minutes late. Is that okay? And they'd be like, yeah, that's fine. And then we'd do another 30 minutes and another 30 minutes. We'd do a portion of time where they're comfortable continually waiting. Because what we used to do was we'd be like, hey, we're 2 hours behind. Is that okay? And they'd say no, and they wouldn't show up. So, wow, I totally forgot we used to do that. But yeah, apparently this upset this person so much that they remembered it for years. Unfortunately, most tire places destroy wheels. It's more common than not. No, it isn't. Where are you going? I can't even count how many times I've gone and gotten tires replaced. Like, just for my own cars, 12 times, 15 times, and then for other people's cars, countless times. Never once was there any damage on any vehicle. And there was another person, maybe it's later in the video, it was an employee being like, yeah, I scratch rims all the time. What the fuck? I like this one because it starts with welcome to the South. His name is Farmboy, and his profile picture is totally a Southern dude. Like, there's a lot of LARPers on the internet, but this guy is freaking Southern, Farmboy. But anyway, he actually had negative things to say about the South. He said, I haven't gotten a thank you at McDonald's in 10 years. A lot of people say the North is rude. A lot of people say the South is rude. I just don't know where these people are talking about all these rude folks. Maybe I just have a low standard for people. Maybe I'm just such a charming dude that everyone falls head over heels for me. The South is nice to me. The North is nice to me. The West was nice to me. The Midwest was nice to me. Everyone's so freaking... Why is everyone so nice to me? 2 in a row said that they would call the cops on Harold. For what? This guy scratched my rims. So what, you want us to arrest him? Well, no, I just want you to make him give me my money back. Okay, so the cops show up and they're like, Harold, give the money back. And he's like, nope. Now what? The cops arrest him? They can't. Man, you treat everyone with high class and respect. However, it seems nobody does the same to you. I find this kind of comment so funny because a lot of people also say I treat everyone like shit. But then some people say I treat everyone with respect. I don't know how I treat people. I guess it's just how it's perceived. So whichever the true answer is, just is what it is. But I do have to push back on nobody doing the same to me because there's so many people, just even within this same series, that maybe didn't get as much camera time or acknowledgement that were really nice to us. Like Take the Tow guy. Great tow dude, super nice, hung around at the shop, helped us call shops, treated the car super well. He was great, start to finish. And then even on a smaller scale, I'd think about the things that just aren't included in the video. Ethan and I had to check out of the hotel, but we didn't have anywhere to go and we wanted to sleep in a little more. I called the front desk and I was like, could we have more time? And they were like, yeah, sure. They let us just stay at the hotel longer. The McDonald's workers were nice. That was a pretty bad McDonald's. If you live in Sydney, where were we? Santee McDonald's was honestly, we waited like 30 minutes for our food, but they were nice. They all just seemed kind of high, which is valid. I would be too if I worked at McDonald's probably. Damn bro, shitty random tires on a supercar for the next 30k miles. Yeah, so obviously now the car's gone. However, we were talking about on the rest of the drive, like if we end up keeping this car, I gotta get rid of these tires. Like the first thing I was gonna do if I keep the car is try to sell those tires as fast as possible. I don't know how hard it is to sell tires. They were, but yeah. You can't be surprised you got a sloppy tire job that messed up your rims. This was the absolute perfect setup for a rim job joke, and they still didn't take it. Watching this poor guy slowly implode from awful financial business decisions motivated by his idealism is oddly watchable. So I didn't know what idealism was, so I was Googling it, and I still don't really understand what it is. It's a philosophical view, metaphysical perspective, and everyday attitude asserting that reality is fundamentally mental, spiritual, or constructed by consciousness. Am I an idealist? So in everyday idealism, it's the habit of pursuing high goals, moral perfection, and a vision of how things ought to be, rather than accepting harsh realities. I don't think I'm an idealist. Am I? Signs you're an idealist is I focus heavily on how things should be rather than how they currently are. No. Hold yourself and others to exceptionally high moral standards. No. You're deeply driven by purpose, values, and principles over money or status. Well, I'm driven by money because it helps fulfill my purposes and values and principles. You believe that positive systemic change is always possible with enough effort. I don't think about things that deeply. You tend to see hidden potential in people even when they fail. Yes. You are frequently disappointed when reality falls short of your expectations. I don't think I'm an idealist. But anyway, they found it watchable, so that's good. Is herping trying to move an immovable object? Yeah, the problem is I'm not an unstoppable force. I'm actually a very stoppable force. But Harold was an immovable object. So, but I stopped trying to stop it because I am a stoppable force, and we left. Okay, this person just straight up said, you should have been more aggressive and threatened him. I know earlier I joked about, like, was I supposed to pull a gun on Harold? But I think Rad Wolf Alt thought I should actually threaten to kill Harold. What a twist that would have been. So this person didn't like that I was driving on the tires, but a response said, are you Alex's parents or a good little content consumer? That is a crazy insult. A good little content consumer? I've never heard that one before. If I was criticizing a video and someone said, well, aren't you a good little content consumer? I would just kill myself on the spot. How do you even come back from that? There have been some whiners about me doing members only videos and early access videos. Believe it or not, their opinions do not sway me in any particular direction. But a lot of people say that my views are probably low because I do early access. What a lie that is. Look at all my best performing videos from the past 2 years. They were all early access. The roommates, the second roommates, the Turo videos, early access, 100k views per video. Cope and seethe. Sir, I think you might be over leveraged. Please consider selling your high valued assets. Trim down your monthly payments. Focus on what's working. You got this, and don't give up. Why are you not doing YouTube shorts? What a change in mood. He was so cordial, so professional. He said, sir. He said, you got this and don't give up. And then he freaks out on me for not doing YouTube shorts. It's been a while since I've gotten an F, but I'm glad this meme is still going. I guess not a meme, it's more of a reference, but you're way too nice, too non-confrontational. He pissed in front of y'all. What was I supposed to do? Harold, put your dick back in your pants right now and get... Well, this was... Don't piss in the room with me. I'm not good at being angry. I guess maybe... maybe another guy would have crashed out on the piss moment, but... Then he said, give him an ultimatum. He's in the wrong as a shop owner. What was the ultimatum? Take the tires off? I was not in the upper hand. He had the upper hand in that situation. Frick Alex on this. He put everybody on the road at risk driving on those bald ass tires. Is this an actual term? Because I called my tires bald ass tires, but even the people that hated me quoted me saying bald ass tires. It's like it's an official term to say bald ass tire. Nobody said bald tire. They all said bald ass tire. I actually change Tesla tires every day. And yes, they are trash. They scratch easy, and the tires are impossible to get off without scratching the rims. Go talk to Elon. What kind of comment is this? I may not have much to brag about, but what I can brag about is I've talked to more Tesla owners than 99.9% of the population. I have never met a Tesla owner that gets their rims scratched on just a regular basis by getting their tires changed. Also, Tesla doesn't make rims. They just buy them from a third-party factory that makes all of the other aluminum alloy rims for all the cars in the world. These aren't carbon fiber rims. They're not, what are some other rim materials? Titanium? They're just regular aluminum rims. Meow. Thank you for that comment. That was the last comment. Look, we did it. There were a lot of funny comments on this one. Quite enjoyed reading them. If you enjoyed, I'm good. That's good to hear. I don't